This is breaking news.
Hours ago, crews were working feverishly to isolate the leak. And now, a day later, we can report that they have isolated the leak. Repairs are underway. And as a result, we could start seeing water pressure improve. In fact, we've already received messages from constituents telling us that their water is back on. But quite frankly, we still have work to do. Progress has been made, and I can announce that we are moving in the right direction. Yesterday, I talked about my colleagues, the other mayors affected in their municipalities, and said, now's not the time to point fingers.
Right.
Now's the time for all hands on deck. As mayors, we are not responsible for the repair, but we are committed to the relief for our residents. And I often manage expectations of our constituents by saying that mayors are not magicians. We don't have a magic wand and we can't wave it and have whatever ails us disappear. But we have the will. We have the will to serve and to lead from the front. And I'm proud of both the mayors that have joined us today and Mayor Johnson, because that's what they've done. They've been leading from the front during a very difficult time. But if there's any lesson that we've learned during the pandemic, was that we have to be visible, we have to be vocal, and quite frankly, for lack of a better term, we have to be boots on the ground. Antoine.
Where your fans at?
That's right. Where your fans at. So at this time, I want to hear from the senior member of the mayoral community here in Passaic County, the gentleman who officiated my wedding, the mayor of North Haledon, Randy George.
Yes,
You can mention that at the wedding.
Yes, I did officiate at the wedding. His wife still holds it against me. I want to say that
That was good.
there is a difference in one day. And it's only because of the hard work that Passaic Valley and its crew has done.
yes.
You know, people in my town email me, text me, and say, well, shouldn't you have known the water pipe was going to break? No, I shouldn't have known the pipe was going to break. It's 30 feet below. How would I know that? Now, I want to digress a little bit. 27 years ago, I became the mayor of an aging infrastructure in my town. And 27 years later, we're still upgrading the system.
Right.
The sewer plant, the DPW yard, the police department, the fire department. We have spent millions of dollars of taxpayer funds or grants from the county or the state to fix up North Haledon. And it's an ongoing job. What I'm taking out of today is that we all have to be more involved with Passaic Valley and the MUA.
Yes.
We have to work with them to get the funds from the state and the federal government to fix up the system. This pipe was already on the design stage. That's what Passaic Valley told us yesterday. But unfortunately, it broke before. But I know, working forward, the three mayors and Andre, he's a mayor, but you know, he's the mayor of Paterson, which is a very large town. The three towns aren't even the size of Paterson.
That's right.
But I know with Andre leading, we're all going to work with Passaic Valley and NUA to make sure this doesn't happen again. We've all worked with public service. Public service has lowered the grid in my town so that when power outage goes out, it only affects a smaller number. Well, we're going to do the same thing with the water department. So I want to commend Passaic Valley for all they did, and I want to commend the residents for being able to stand what they had to go through.
Yes.
Because we all had to go through it.
Yes.
All right, so thank you.
Thank you. Mayor George, again, we appreciate your leadership. It's right, 27 years, longest serving mayor in Passaic County. I believe you're also a Hall of Famer as well. To dovetail on what Mayor George was talking about as far as infrastructure improvement is concerned, our commitment, I have my council president to my left. We are undergoing a major reconstruction project on River Street,
Yes.
which has been prone to flooding. That is a city road, of course, so that's why we've assumed responsibility and earmarked funding to finally, once and for all, reconstruct River Street, but we can elaborate at a later date on that project. This time I want to hear from a young man again, leading from the front in Prospect Park, securing tanks to provide potable water to his residents and providing up-to-the-minute updates for his residents. My colleague to the north, Mayor Mohammed Khairallah.
Yes, Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. And since the mayors have been using their sense of humor, I'll share with you that last night when I showed up around 7:30 to what I used internally call the Great Hall at the Great Fall, which was making the Great Falls great again, I met with Jim, and it was a pleasure to see that the reduction of the amount of flow of water. And immediately we were receiving calls from our residents that they're starting to see the pressure increase. Today I had an opportunity to speak to Jim as well, and we surveyed our residents, and at this point it seems that only apartment buildings and buildings that are on top of high hills are not receiving water yet. So obviously as the pressure increases, hopefully they will receive their water soon. But I want to take this opportunity to reiterate and call again on our federal elected officials to support North Jersey, Paterson, and local communities with federal funding to improve the infrastructure. Paterson is an industrial city from the Industrial Revolution time, so the infrastructure is very old. The communities around it rely on what Paterson has and build on it. And I always say the well-being of Prospect Park or the well-being of Paterson, I always say that the well-being of Paterson is the well-being of Prospect Park. And that holds true for every other community around it. So again, I ask our elected officials, the federal elected officials, to lobby for federal funding to improve the infrastructure in the area. And I end it with thanking Jim and his crew for working day and night to make sure that we get to this point, and hopefully the best is yet to come. Thank you.
Mayor, thank you. Appreciate it, Mayor. Thank you. Stated earlier that our council president has been on the front line as well. She, along with the vice president, Maritza Davila, has made sure that water distribution, particularly in the senior citizen buildings, is achieved. So at this time, I'm going to yield the microphone to our council president, Dr. Lalisa Mims.
Thank you, Mayor. I feel so special today. I'm surrounded by all these mayors of greatness, and to Jim and the Passaic Valley Water Commission, I want to say thank you. When we first started here on Friday, there are a couple trucks. Now when you look around, there's trucks from every corner that are here that's taking care of the work, and I want to commend Passaic Valley Water Commission, our OEM coordinator, Fireman Troy Ayers, our mayor, DPW, Fire Department, Police Department, all the council members, and the residents of this town. One thing about Paterson, Paterson is a city that is known by its grit. When things happen, we know how to come together, pull up our bootstraps, and get it done. It requires all hands on deck. We've been working tirelessly out in the community. I'm grateful for the press conferences, because what they do for the community, they provide a transparent and upfront information to our residents so they can understand what is the status, what is happening, and they can hear it clearly from the experts that are down working on the infrastructure, the piping, and have already identified the source of the issue to go towards a place of resolution. So I'm happy that we're seeing better days. The sun is shining really, really bright today. Yes. So that's a sign from God that we're almost there. So residents, I once again ask you, if you're still having outages, please reach out to us, reach out to Passaic Valley Water Commission. Let us know where you are. We will come to your place. If you can't make it to our designated locations, we will come to you to make sure that no one is left without water. Someone that can't bathe, drink, brush their teeth, or do the necessities that are so needed for all of us affects everybody in the community. Whatever you need from us, it is going to happen. So I just feel like doing a demonstration. If our mayors, if you'll step here for a minute. This took everybody, not just the mayors. If they'll put their hand on top of mine. This effort wasn't a one-man show or a one-woman show. It required all hands on deck. If we're going to make Paterson, North Heldon, Prospect Park, and Heldon better, and all of our towns, all of us have to come together and have all hands on deck. God bless you. God bless these great towns. May the work we do speak for us. Have a great day.
Amen, Council President. So we're going to pass around the collection basket there for a second. We're taking donations for water. We definitely are. We definitely are. Thank you, Anthony Johnson. Young man has been working around the clock, cut short a pre-planned family trip just so he could dedicate all his time and energy to this effort. Our OEM coordinator, Troy Ayers.
Yes, Troy.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
First of all disaster starts local and local. So being that it's coming back this way, I'm feeling 10% better. I'm going to be honest with you. First, I'd like to thank Heldon, North Heldon, Prospect Park, Passaic County OEM, and New Jersey State OEM, because they've been working around the clock with me to give me all the assets I need and resources I need to make this work. Our water distribution will start at 12 o'clock and end at 9 o'clock until all supplies run out. We will not stop. We're shipping pallets to each municipality. It's an automatic dial now. It's one button push and we send the numbers out automatically. Also, we're still taking deliveries for seniors. So if you're sick and shut in, you reach out to us, you will get a case of water delivered to your door between now and 9 o'clock. Yesterday, 52 Coat Arm, we dropped off 170 cases of water and we put a tanker outside. We also put a tanker outside Riverside Tower. We are not forgetting anybody. Today, we have more locations we'll take care of. Just realize we're doing the best we can. We're not just sitting on the sideline thinking about yourself. We're in it with you. Everybody have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you again, Coordinator. In addition to the water distribution at 12 p.m., we still have our comfort station in operation. As a matter of fact, I just received a report over 400 people have taken a shower at the comfort zone, and they continue to distribute water, compliments of Mike Romaglia, Amanda Baker, and ShopRite as well. And there are portable toilets, like I stated before, that are positioned strategically throughout the parking lot. 4 are on the Totowa Avenue entrance and 4 on the Preakness Avenue entrance, and that will remain until further notice. We do want an update from our fire department. We have our Deputy Chief McCombs here who will give us some information. Thank you.
Thanks, sir. Good morning. The fire department is still actively monitoring the water situation in the hydrants. We still have areas with low pressure. At this time, we want to thank all of our mutual aid partners who have been in this city helping us in the surrounding towns with water tankers and tenders and task forces that have come from all over the state. We have 29 towns who have been inside the city of Paterson from 9 counties, and as far away as Cape May County is here today to assist our services to the city of Paterson. I really commend the New Jersey State Fire Marshal's Office, the Passaic County Mutual Aid coordinators who have been in this city helping us, making phone calls, getting resources to this city to make sure that we can provide proper fire protection to the city. I also want to thank the members of the fire department who have been nonstop. We've had 3 fires over the weekend, including a second alarm on Park Ave. And without the help of those tankers and the resources that were brought in, that could have been a disastrous fire. But the members in the fire department have really stepped up and pushed through, because not only is this a water emergency, it's also a heat wave at this time, and it's really taxing for the firefighters. So I want to take this time to thank everybody who's been helping us out. Thank the mayor, the OEM coordinator who's been really stepping up and providing for the fire department. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Deputy Chief. Thanks, sir. And now to a gentleman who probably has gotten very little sleep these past few days. In fact, this site has become his home away from home, and I believe I speak for everyone. We thank you for your leadership.
Yes.
We thank you for being focused like a laser on getting not only this leak isolated, getting the repairs going, and getting water back to residents of our towns. Ladies and gentlemen, our Executive Director, Jim Muller, from the Passaic Valley Water Commission.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to echo the sentiments of the fire chief and everyone else. Very much appreciate the aid that we're getting from the state, from the county, county OEM, New Jersey DEP, state trooper. It's been tremendous, and the support there is so much appreciated. I also want to thank our sister utilities, Veolia, Hawthorne, Ridgewood, who are all stepping up and providing water or providing us with tankers and support so we can help provide water to neighborhoods. That's been tremendous. Very much appreciate that as well. And as well as the mayor, fire chief, Troy, the OEM coordinator for Paterson. It's been, we couldn't get through this without those folks. So they're helping make us successful here. In terms of the system, as we reported last night, we did isolate the leak and significantly isolated it. There's still some water coming out, but the system is starting to recover. So we're getting reports and we're seeing on our own gauges that pressure is starting to come up in parts of the system. The west side of Passaic River, the Hillcrest area, Redwood, is problematic. It's a higher level, higher elevation, so that's slower. Yesterday, those areas had zero pressure. Today, they do have some pressure, but we still are, as the mayor said, we're still encouraging people to conserve water. If you do get water back, understood, you want to flush your toilets and that kind of thing, but you want to conserve as well because not everybody has that, and it does take time. We expect that in the next day or two, the system will continue to recover, but it is fairly slow. It's a wide area. And again, that elevation is fighting us. One thing we are working on today is putting a third temporary pump in service where we could run additional water from a high pressure area over to that west side of the Passaic River, the Hillcrest area and Redwood area. It's not easy because if it was easy, we would have done it already, but we continue to work on that. So my staff is working with the local utilities. We have to coordinate with Toto and some other folks to see if that's feasible. We continue to work on that. We hope that if it is feasible, in the next 10 to 12 hours, I would hope that's operational, but that's still under development. I do want to also thank my staff, my COO, Mike Murata, who has been tremendous in coordinating with the utilities, Joe Aldegari, my incident commander has been tremendous in coordinating, my distribution folks. They've all been working around the clock, trying to find valves, 140-year-old or 120-year-old valves in the system that are buried or offset in a woods somewhere. And that's really made all the difference in their dedication and commitment and knowledge. So I want to recognize that. We continue to work on the repair. It is a very complicated area. There's a 50-foot retaining wall about a few feet away of the hole that we've dug. So we need to deal with that. We're 20 feet down. We believe the main is maybe another 10 feet to go. So this is not an easy area to work in. We are rethinking our approach. But again, the system's starting to recover. Which is a good thing, and we're going to try to accelerate that. And when we have more updates on the actual repair, I can provide that. Question?
Nick.
How many people still have low or no water pressure, and how many people are still under that boil water advisory?
So the same boil water advisory is still in place as of yesterday, so it's almost 200,000 people, all of Paterson and the city, Haledon, North Haledon, and Prospect Park. We are trying to bring areas out of that boil water as justified. There are some areas that never experienced a really low loss of pressure. Well, they saw lower pressure. It wasn't low enough, but I think as we mentioned the other day, out of an overabundance of caution, we put the whole city in a boil water. We are working on that, and when we make progress, we'll make that announcement. That might be a possibility, but for large areas, like I said, the west side of the Passaic River and that Hillcrest area, even on the other side in the Bunker Hill area and whatnot, that is going to take longer. Those areas were severely impacted, and that's going to take longer. We're probably going to be at this in a boil water probably till the end of the week at least, just to put a time frame on it in those areas. And likely a lot of these areas could easily go into next week. It just takes time to recover, takes time to flush, takes time to sample, and we want to make sure people are safe. Our main priority now, as the fire chief mentioned, was getting the pressure back for fire suppression, sanitation. Flush toilets, take showers. That's the main priority because we'll be in a much better situation at that point. And then the potable aspect will come over time. That's kind of our priority right now. I don't know if there's any other questions, or I'll hand it back to Mayor Saya.
Rich Cowan.
When you say the west side of the Passaic River, that's here all the way up into North Haledon,
Correct.
Prospect Park, the affected area.
Correct.
Are you saying that over the course of the day, people should begin to have increased water pressure? Do you have any time frame at all when things are going to come back to normal?
So that's tougher to estimate, and a lot of that will depend on our eventual repair. That's when we'll be operationally normal. But the system, pressures are rising. We are hearing that, even on the west side of the Passaic, that they are coming up, and some of the mayors are hearing that from their own residents, and I think they already spoke to that. It's the elevation, the higher apartment buildings or the higher just elevations, much slower, much longer of a recovery. So it's starting to shrink in its area, but we're nowhere near back to normal in that area. So this is going to take a few days to continue to get those pressures
Anthony
up.
Johnson, Antoine next.
You're saying basically some people are coming back on, but you haven't gotten to the problem yet. How is that possible?
Once we managed to isolate the leak, we estimate there was about 10 to 15 million gallons per day coming out of that hole as of yesterday. By isolating that now water can redistribute to the rest of the system. So that's what's occurring now, is it's being redistributed naturally through the system into the areas that were impacted.
So you haven't capped it yet, you haven't cut out anything?
We've isolated it, so we did manage to do that last night, yeah. Yes, but no, we have not. We haven't gotten down. We're in the middle of it. We have to bring in bigger machines. We have to come up with a more thorough shoring plan. We also are looking at other options of maybe new pipes that we're going to run, given the complexity of that site. So those are still options we're looking at.
You said there were three main pipes there. Is it one pipe, all three ruptured, or how is that?
At one point, we thought there might be 2 ruptures. At this point, we think it's 1. We originally thought it was on the 30-inch. Then we thought maybe it's the 24 and the 30-inch. Now we're thinking it's the 24. We still don't have eyes on it, which is part of the guessing game a little bit until we actually see what ruptured. We believe there may be an interconnection between these 2 pipes that maybe could have been installed 80 years ago or 100 years ago, and we just don't have records of. The way it responded to our actions, and my distribution staff, who are really experts in what they're doing, it was a puzzle because it wasn't responding in the way we thought it should, and that's why there's a suspicion of there might be an interconnection there, but we don't know. We don't have eyes on that yet. But because we've isolated and we're no longer losing 10 to 15 million gallons of water a day, that water is still in the system and is being distributed to where it should go. It's just taking longer. So again, the temporary pumping option that I'm talking about should accelerate that. We're working on that actively right now to try to get the water more quickly to areas that are still impacted.
Antoine.
Jim, I just have a similar question. What will it look like? Is it just cutting out a piece of the pipe, or will you be going in and completely replacing it? I was just trying to, what will that replacement look like?
It's a great question, and unfortunately, right now, it could be any of that depending on what we find, and we need to get eyes on that. And again, a very tricky area. Like the side of Hinchcliffe Stadium, the 50-foot retaining wall, it's a few feet away. So we need to make sure that's safe. There's a lot, so we're taking a pause right now, not long, but to rethink this with the contractor. We're maybe even looking at potentially just put a new pipe in, maybe a little shallower. Again, these are all options, so we don't know yet. But the fact that we've isolated the leak, that was a huge step forward in the fact that that water loss that was just coming out and going in down the road and into the river is now in the system and being distributed to where it needs to go.
Rich.
What do you mean when you say you isolated them?
So there's valves in the system, and again, we turned over 70, 80 valves in the last few days trying to isolate it, and we were unsuccessful. The one valve that made the difference yesterday, we had worked 3 times, and the date on that valve is 1915. So it didn't just respond. It's not like your faucet where you turn it and it comes on. It took 4 days of reworking and going back and revisiting valves that wouldn't fully shut. And finally last night, again, I mentioned yesterday we recharged a line. That actually might have helped because that water flow could just maneuver the valve. It's a 110-year-old valve, so it didn't just respond immediately. That's what was successful last night, and that's what I mean. We significantly, there's still a little bit water trickling out, significantly reduced. It was a river yesterday, so that's gone. And that's what I mean. That water is now still in the system, redistributing itself, and we see that it's starting to come up in the areas that were impacted.
There you go. So no, the spot is on maybe anybody can come forward.
Yes. Once is there one more question, Rich, or no?
So in other words, you found a valve that shuts the water off now and it's no longer gushing out.
Well, we turned about 70 to 80 valves, and this last one was the key piece of the puzzle. We had worked it 3 times prior, so we knew it was there. It just wasn't closing because it's 110 years old. Finally, we got that to shut.
Where is the leak?
It's right outside, right down the road.
In
It's
other words, it's not under the stadium.
No, it's not under the stadium.
Yes, so we received a request. We do have a Spanish speaker available. He is the Director of Fire Safety from Prospect Park, Mr. Daniel Cabrera.
Thank you. Just a general statement you have for us.
So, básicamente, este es un momento donde la colaboración trae más resultados que la confrontación. Y hemos visto cómo las 4 municipalidades, tanto Paterson, Prospect Park, Helden y North Helden, han colaborado mutuamente para que esta situación se resuelva. Gracias a Dios, ayer se hizo un progreso tremendo, donde pudieron insular la ruptura que hubo, en donde se estaban desperdiciando estimadamente de 10 a 15 millones de galones de agua diariamente. Ahora esa agua está siendo redistribuida entre las líneas y poco a poco la presión va a ir surgiendo en diferentes áreas. Obviamente, las áreas que están más altas, esas áreas van a tomar un poco más de tiempo. Simplemente le estamos pidiendo a todas las personas que tengan un poquito más de paciencia, que colaboremos, que sigamos. Estamos todavía bajo la alerta de hervir el agua para consumo. Gracias a Dios, en las ciudades, en Prospect Park, estamos dando agua potable. También en la ciudad de Paterson, en Prospect Park, la tenemos desde las 8 de la mañana hasta las 8 de la noche. Tenemos baños que pueden ir a utilizar también en el municipio y en la escuela. Se ha estado trabajando junto con colaboración de los 4 alcaldes de la ciudad.
¿Para cuándo se escatima que va a haber el completo servicio para la comunidad?
Es una pregunta, como dijo el director de la Comisión de Agua, que es un poquito...
This has been